All right guys, so today I have kind of a nice little treat here. I have two sets of Nitto tires that are very popular. So on this side over here we have the Nitto RIDGE Grappler, and over here we have the Nitto RECON Grappler. These are both in a 35 by 12.5 by 17. Before I had the Tundra, I ran these exact same tires in a 305 70/17 on my 4Runner. I ran those for about 2 years and I was really happy with the performance of them on-road, off-road, in snow, in rain, dry weather. So it was a no-brainer for me to go with the exact same ones in a 35 on the Tundra. So I've had these now for a few months. I just got back from a big 3,000-mile trip with these and they did really great. However, these obviously have a lot more miles as this is a brand new tire. So I get a lot of questions about the RIDGE Grappler, how I like it, and kind of what's the difference between these two, because I do have both of these tires. So today I want to give my opinion on these two tires here and kind of talk about who each of these tires here is for. So let's go ahead and get into it. So to understand a little bit more where the RIDGE Grappler and the RECON Grappler lie in sort of the Nitto world, well, first of all, we've got the Terra Grappler, we've got the RECON Grappler, we've got the RIDGE Grappler, and then the Trail Grappler. After that, we do have the Mud Grappler, but that is probably going to be more of a fully off-road use tire. Terra Grappler is going to be the least aggressive tire, and the Trail Grappler is going to be the most aggressive tire out of these four. It goes Terra Grappler. After that, we've got the RECON Grappler. And then after that, we will have the RIDGE Grappler. And then after that will be the Trail Grappler. So if you're looking for a little bit of off-road use, the Terra Grappler might be great. And if you're doing a little bit more off-road use, then the Trail Grappler might be for you. But if you're somewhere in between, like most people, I think the RECON Grappler and the RIDGE Grappler are probably your best bets. So you can see here that each of these has a very unique tread pattern here. So we can talk about which one of these is going to be best for you. If you're looking for an all-terrain or an RT tire, somewhere in a hybrid, and a lot of this is going to have to do with this midsection right here. So before we get into the differences of these two, I want to talk about kind of where the confusion lies in between which one of these is the best tire for you, and kind of how people get these confused, and kind of why we even would need to break this down because of the similarities. So both of these tires are going to be light truck tires. They're going to be for your SUVs, your trucks, maybe a van if you have a pretty aggressive van. They're going to have aggressive treads on them, one of these being a little bit more aggressive than the other one. Spoiler alert, it is going to be the RIDGE Grappler. So both of these tires will have different faces on either side. You'll notice on this side, it's a little bit more of a blocky shape, whereas on this side, it's got more of a angular and sharp side to it. It is going to be the same on the RIDGE Grappler. You either have the more sharp side on this side or you have the more blocky side. On the RIDGE Grappler, I've seen them called like the dino tooth side, and then you've got the blocky side. I'm running the quote-unquote dino tooth side on the outside on this one, and I've run that on both of my vehicles so far. Both of these tires, you'll want to look at the face on either one of them online or in person and decide which one you think looks best. Then if you're going to have it installed at a tire shop, then go ahead and let them know which side you would like to put on the outside, and also make sure they put all of the same ones on the outside, as it does just look a little bit off if you do one on one side and one on the other side. Just note that going into purchasing either one of these tires. So looking here on the RECON Grappler, all of these, when you're aired down, are going to be nicely kind of locking in and fitting tightly when it's aired down. You can see where the gaps kind of push together in variable different pitch depths. So that is going to be the same on the RIDGE as well. These will lock together really nicely and get a lot of grip when you're aired down. Same for both of these. They do also both have 3-ply sidewalls, so they are going to be great for rock protection while you're off-roading. So I like to think of the RECON Grappler as kind of a mix between the RIDGE Grappler and the Toyo Open Country AT3s, somewhere kind of in between that. Nitto and Toyo are the same company, so a lot of that technology is most likely in this one right here. This one is a little less aggressive than this one, aiming a little bit more towards the sort of the overland crowd for this one. Now both of these tires will have this, but this is going to have the variable pitch technology, which will make these a little bit more quiet than, let's say, a mud terrain. Now people have said in forums that they will notice a noise on this one as compared to this one. Now I haven't personally noticed a lot of road noise. It could be that these are a little bit more angled on here, giving a little bit less noise, whereas these are a little bit blockier and kind of straight and angular. So that could be contributing to that difference in noise. But like I said, I've been running this on the last 2 vehicles, 3 years of running this tire in 2 different sizes on 2 different vehicles. This isn't really like a mud bogger or anything like that. We're not talking about big old honking blocks on this thing, so I've really not noticed a noise on this. It's not a mud terrain. This is a hybrid tire, so any noise that I've heard on the forums, I haven't really personally noticed myself. The Recon Grappler is going to have a slightly better on-road performance than the Ridge Grappler here. I've had no complaints about the Ridge Grappler over the years in any conditions. Just note that this one does have a slightly better rating for on-road performance. So the Ridge Grappler here has a bulky shoulder with staggered blocks. This is going to be a little bit better for off-road performance. This tread is also going to be a little bit softer, which also does contribute to that better off-road performance. Now the softer rubber means that it will probably likely not be as long lasting as the Recon Grappler, as that is a little bit more sturdy and reinforced. In terms of off-road performance, that softer rubber is going to just grip onto rocks and snow and sand just a little bit better. Now these bulkier side blocks here are also going to protect it a little bit better from you know, rocks and stuff kind of getting up against the side of that tire, which is really nice if you're kind of doing some rock crawling, kind of running up against rocks. You don't want to have a super soft sidewall here, so this is going to be great for that. Now the Recon Grappler is also going to have some really nice shoulder blocks here as well. It's just a little bit different design aimed at different things. Really nice sidewalls here, great protection, and great grip if you're trying to get up on some rocks and you need to get some grip on the sidewalls. So looking here at the Recon Grappler, we're gonna have tighter groups of blocks in here, separated by these kind of zigzag patterns right here. So you'll have it kind of running across there, this way, running across there, and then this way. And you can look at these as kind of like a group of blocks here. So that's going to be the pattern you're looking at here, kind of a zigzag pattern with thick grooves here, thinner grooves here, and even thinner grooves in this little section. Now you're going to notice here on the Ridge Grappler that we're going to have a little bit smaller of groups, kind of like one little one here, one here, one here, with sort of an X-like groove system right here. So the individual blocks will be nice and large, and then you'll have a nice spacing in between each of the blocks here. These are pretty much the same size. These are a little bit thinner. These are a little bit thicker on here. And like I said, this is going to be a little bit softer. And when you're aired down, a lot of that is going to kind of lock into place. Now, one thing I really do like about the Ridge Grappler is these little stone ejectors here. So that is going to be really great, as this is more aimed at an off-road tire. So having these little stone ejectors right here is really nice for an off-road tire. So I have had ATs and I've also had mud terrains, not on this vehicle, but on my 4Runner. And I would say the mud terrains were just way too loud, way too noisy. I didn't like them. And ATs are actually a pretty good kind of in between. But this one here is a hybrid, so it's somewhere in between a mud terrain and an AT. And I believe that this one is a true AT, although it does have a really nice grip to it. A lot better compared to my BF Goodrich KO2s had when I had a true AT from BF Goodrich. So which one of these tires do I recommend going with? Which one of these is the most appealing for you? So a lot of that will be dependent on whether you're a heavy off-roader, you do a lot of highway miles, you're more of an overlander, or more of a rock crawler. So if you're a heavy off-roader, I would pretty much recommend going with the Ridge Grappler, although the Recon Grappler is pretty good. If you're more into the show truck world, then this is probably going to be the way to go as well. I do think this is the best looking tire on the market of all brands, of all types of tires. I think it is the best for like a show truck type build. Are you doing a ton of highway miles? Now, if that's the case, I would recommend going here with the Recon Grappler. The Recon's going to be a little bit better on road. It's going to have a 55,000 mile warranty, quieter, a little bit more rigid, and better in turns. So either way, you're gonna get a great tire for on and off-road use. So I think either way you go, you're gonna have a great tire. Ask me any questions you want below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.